Would you all please turn on your cameras so that I can see you all? Okay. Hi, you read. Okay. And I would be waiting for everyone to turn their cameras on. Yeah, thank you so much. Hello. Okay. Catherine, Harris, would you please turn your cameras on? Ruhi. All right. Okay. So let's get started with our lesson today on combined science. All right. First of all, I would like to welcome. Hi, Abdul. Hello, Abdul Makid. I would like to welcome you all to Gillecta. And for those who are new here, like who don't know me, I am Leva, your science faculty at Gillecta. So if I talk about who Gillecta is, Gillecta is an online tutoring platform where we tend to cover different boards in 11 plus and in GCSEs as well. So you would have different subjects that you can see on your screen over there as well. All right. So if you would want to know about what all things we provide to our students, we tend to provide live interactive classes. There are focused approach with small batch size. You would not have to come up with huge number of students in a class. So high concentration would be given on every student. And we would providing you questions, exam oriented practice would be done, and rest all the services or the features that you can see would be there on your screen. Just in case if you would have anything to talk about or any message to send, there are numbers that are being displayed at the bottom as well. All right. And yes, I hope that you know. Hello, Ayan. That's great. Ayan, turn your camera on. So, Selecta is your one stop solution because it would provide you notes. It can save a lot of hard work, because looking at so many things and just making your own notes, it can sometimes be very tedious, right? The practice tests and exams that we tend to conduct, lecture, revision, and doubt sessions are something which is very important. And counseling sessions, there would be help in case if you're struggling with something. So there would be expert teachers to counsel you. Okay, all right, Ian. So hello, and welcome you all to my science lesson. So, today we are going to talk about combined science, how or what all things are there. All right, I'll be asking you all. Could you tell me, like, how many papers are there in combined science exam, GCSE combined science? Who would tell me? Write your answers in the chat box. I'm waiting. The three. Just three? Four? Okay, exactly. There's someone who said six. Oh, yeah, no, it's not that much. Okay, exactly. Harris, there's six. Like there's paper one and paper two for each subject. You have three sciences, even in your combined science, which includes physics, chemistry, biology. And your whole syllabus of physics is divided into two halves, which gives you paper one and paper two. So in total, there would be six papers, even in combined science. All right. My next question, because I believe that my students should answer. If I talk about the total marks, do you know like what's the total marks for your each paper? What is it? Is it 100? Not really. For combined science, it's not 100. 40. No, that would be too less. Anyone? I'm waiting. Catherine, Amrita, Yurid, Harris, Ruhi. Okay, there's someone with the name Z as well. Mm-hmm. Exactly, Ayan. Very good. Your combined science papers are of 70 marks each that you need to prepare for. And in my today's lesson, we are going to cover all these topics that are there on your screen in the form of questions and mock test. There would be biology where we would be covering. You can write your concern in the chat box. Ayan, you can write it in the chat box. I'll be reading it. It's 70, okay? Cell biology and bioenergetics from paper one. From biology, we would be talking about certain questions from atomic structure and bonding from chemistry. And there would be energy and electricity being covered from physics over here. and we would be doing a lot of questions. Be active during this session because I would want answers from all of your side. So your hands should be on your computer, all right, and to type down your answers throughout. The basic requirements, I would need your active participation. Could you all please tell me who all are active right now? Okay, Ayan is active. Who else? Abdul Mukeed. You read, you're active or not? Catherine is active. Very good. And what about others? Emmanuel, Ivan, Ruhi, Harris. If you're not comfortable to, turn your cameras on, you can just give me a hands up in the Zoom chat as well. And I can see you throughout. Okay. There would be pen and paper that is needed. That's great, Emmanuel. And you need to be concentrated throughout the session. All right. No, you need to be concentrated and keep answering. Believe me, the questions would be very easy. The goal of this class would specifically be to cover all the important topics. There are certain important tips and tricks that we need to use to solve our paper. You would learn how to write an answer and to be GCSE ready for your exam, all right? So there would be certain techniques that you're going to learn. These are our social media platforms where you can connect with us. Oh, that's great, Ayan. So you would be able to answer most of the questions. Probably you would be, doing so great here as well. So you have all your social media connections. You can anytime refer to them to connect to anyone over here, right? So before moving to certain questions, there would be certain points that you need to remember. Because the first chapter in biology is about cell structure, you tend to know about what exactly is a cell. So I want an answer in the chat box. What is a cell in biology? Quickly write that down. I'm waiting. Let's see who knows about it. Cell, very basic definition. Quickly type that down. Okay, all right. Blood cell is one of an example. Very good. The basic unit of life. So you all know about it. Cell is the basic unit of life. But what all things are there inside cell? What it is made up of? What's there inside it? That's what we need to know. So the first and the foremost thing that you need to know about a cell is that it has a cell membrane. So would you tell me, like, what do you know about cell membrane? Can you quickly tell me? Yes, there are organelles present inside it, Abdul Maki. That is pretty smart answer. Membrane protein is in the star. Okay. All right. Just tell me one thing. Like you have, like a packet, and inside that packet, you have some liquid being stored. What's the need of the packet? Could you please tell me? Why do you need a packet? Can't you simply carry liquid as it is? I need answer from all of your side. Quickly write that down. Why do we need to have a packet to keep our liquid or other things inside it? Just write it. Strong structure okay. Harris has said that to not let liquid flow out. Exactly. Ivan, you have said to hold the material. Exactly. You took that packet, the cell, the outer covering of the packet is to hold whatever is there inside it. All right. So your first and the basic function of cell membrane is to hold the cell components together inside it. These words are something that you're going to write as it is. And let me tell you, if you would move towards foundation first, these things, the questions would be direct. They would directly ask you the questions to give the functions of cell membrane. You need to write them down with the words over here. The second factor over here is controlling what can enter and what can leave in the cell. Do you know what? Your cell membrane, it's semi-permeable. Who knows the meaning of semi-permeable? Who knows the meaning of semi-permeable? I want to know that. Okay, Abdul Makit knows it. That's interesting. Anyone else? I'm waiting for others. Is there anyone selectively permeable? That is the other word for it. But what exactly it is? Let some liquid pass. All right. Semi-permeable means that when you are selective. All right. Do you have any selective choices, Catherine? Like, do you make friends? Do you be friends with everyone? Or you choose your friends specifically? I want to be friend with this. I do not want to be friend with this. Right? You must be choosy. Or Abdul, ain't you choosy about eating something? Like, I'm going to eat pizza, but I'm not going to eat burger. I don't like it. When you're selective about certain things that you need to take in and take out, that's what semi-permeable is. And that what it means from the second point over here, controlling what can enter and what can leave the cell. That's what cell membrane can do. Your third one is it acts as a boundary. If there is no boundary, how would you know? Like I have drawn different cells. This is first cell, this is second cell. The outer red color mark is a boundary that tells you that you have different cells being joined together. Make sense? All right. Okay. Yeah, you can call them as picky. Exactly. But you're not going to write that in the paper, that they're picky. All right. You need to be scientific. We're talking about the other thing. I was talking about some liquid that is there inside it. So cytoplasm is more like a liquid that is present inside a cell and it carries all the organelles inside it. So when you talk about certain basic things, cytoplasm is your site at which your chemical reaction takes place and it's more like a jelly. And when you talk about the second point, it surrounds all the subcellular structure. It surrounds all your organelles inside it. Okay, I'm using the word organelle. Can someone give me an example of an organelle? All right, it would be you're in year five, and you would have to, reach up to higher science. I need answer. Like, can you give me an example of an organelle? Okay, one of it is being given by Abdul Makid. I need answers from others. Ruhi, Harris, Emmanuel. Come on, is there anyone who knows about any one example of an organelle? All of them, yeah, mitochondria is an organelle, Catherine, Ivan, but I need something else if we can think of. There are a lot. Ribosomes, oh wow, that's amazing. Cytoplasm is a liquid or jelly-like structure in which organelles are floating. Cytoplasm itself would not be called as organelle. Vacuole is there, interesting. A lot of students are answering. That's great. Okay, so the different organelles, we can discuss some of them over here. Your first one is DNA. DNA is your genetic material. You might have heard about people calling that, oh, you look so similar to your mother. You look so similar to your father. You have this habit from your ancestors. So, DNA is something that carries genes in it. It carries your genetic material and it also controls certain cell activities as well. When you talk about ribosomes, ribosomes are the site for protein synthesis. Where do you think so? Your ribosomes, your protein is synthesized. Exactly. Oh, you have quite a good knowledge, Abdul Wakid. Very good. So ribosomes would have they're the sites of protein synthesis. Okay. We're done with cell and its organelles. The basic and important ones have been discussed. Now we need to talk about the two types of cells. One is eukaryotic and the other one is prokaryotic. When you talk about eukaryotic cells, they are well defined, they have well defined nucleus. And in case of prokaryotic cells, they do not have well defined nucleus. You know what? Their nucleus is just hanging around here and there. It is not covered inside, a nuclear membrane, just like it might be there in eukaryotic cell, right? Very good. Oh, Abdul Hafiz knows it. Exactly, Catherine. In case of bacteria, it would not be. There can be some bacteria which are eukaryotic too. Nucleus is, the that part inside a cell that contains your genetic material that is transferred from one generation to other generation. All right, it contains DNA in it. And when you talk about other points, all your cell organelles would be present inside eukaryotic cell, but in prokaryotic cell, It contains plasmids, but some of them might be absent. Your prokaryotic cells contain plasmids and cell wall only. And eukaryotic cells could be there in both plants and animals. However, your bacterial cells would be the one that would be called as prokaryotic cells. The size would be around 1 micrometer, very small in case of prokaryotic cells, and it would be around 10 to 100 micrometers in case of eukaryotic cells. I hope everything is clear. Yes, Ayan, like DNA. Like DNA is present inside nucleus, all right? Here you go with your first question. That is from grade 1 to 3 level questions on biology. Just have a look at the image, see what it's saying, and start writing your answers in the chat box. Real quick. Exactly. Very good. So when you talk about the particular question, there are certain A, B, C, D specialized cells, as you can see. Two of them are plant cells and two of them are animal cells. You would have to find that, all right? Okay. Which of them are plant cells? Quickly answer it. We are asking for plant cells. Which of them are plant cells? I need answers from all of you. This is very basic level question from first chapter of biology. Okay. All right. You only mentioned one. Harris, only one. Divya, perfect. That's nice. Abdul Mukeet has given the correct answer. Exactly. When you talk about option number C, like the image C over here, and this one, and image D over here are the plant cells, whereas A and B would be considered as animal cells. Your second part, which part is found only in plant cells? Is it cell membrane, cell wall, or nucleus? Quickly answer it. Abdul Mukeed, you're impressive. Like, I'm pretty impressed. Cell wall, exactly. You read, cell membrane is present in every cell, all right? Even in animal cells as well as plant cells. But when you talk about cell wall, these are points that you need to remember that it is only present in plant cell. Let me tell you, if this is your cell membrane, all right, this is cell membrane. But when I talk about in plant cells, there is another outer layering around your cell membrane, and this outer wall is called as cell wall. Is that clear? The outer wall is called as cell wall. Make sure that you remember all these points. Cell wall, yes, Harris. Okay, very good. All of you are answering pretty well. I'm pretty impressed. Okay. Now, which cell A, B, C, or D is adapted for swimming? I'm going back. Which cell can swim? Answer it. Okay, all right. That's great. A lot of students are answering. Very good, Harris. You're doing good. Exactly. Your cell A would be considered like is the one that can swim, and which one is adapted to produce like glucose by photosynthesis? Which one can photosynthesize? Need answer. Be quick. Is it too difficult? Or Divya, Ruhi, Harris, Emmanuel? Write your answers. Okay, all right, all right. All of you knows it, like know it. So yes, let me tell you, when you talk about chloroplast over here, chloroplast contains chlorophyll in it. Chloroplast contains chlorophyll in it, and chlorophyll is a green color pigment which is responsible or which through which photosynthesis can take place. Let me tell you, if a plant part is not green in color, it means it doesn't have chlorophyll in it. So that part of your plant cannot conduct photosynthesis. Your stems can even, can produce glucose by photosynthesis if they are green in color. If not, then they cannot. Yes, Abdul, I know that. All right. Now, as you can see that we tend to provide online classes, one-to-one and group sessions. There would be live class, mock test would be given in every class. You would get access to recorded lessons. There would be daily homework being given to you. You would get all the notes, mind maps, and tricks, and the best practice and trick that is based on previous year papers. Previous year papers for GCSEs are like they're the most important thing that you can look for. All right. Okay. Now, this one, could you please answer it? Like your cells A, B, and C, D all use oxygen. For what process do cells need to use oxygen? Why are we taking in oxygen? Like, why is it important? What's the reason? Okay, Catherine, Harris, very good. I'm impressed. Okay, Ivan, Amrita, Tivia, that's it. Very good. Respiration is the one that is responsible, like that can produce energy. If I'm alive, if I'm speaking today, it's because of respiration, because I'm getting energy from that. Right? Okay. These are certain questions that you would be taking as a homework. So please take screenshots and try to answer them. All right. Please take screenshots because you would be answering these questions to me in the end. Like you need to WhatsApp it to the team. Please specify your teacher's name. I'm Leva, just in case you do not know about it. These are your homework questions. All right. And your admissions are open. If you're not a part of Gelecta, you can enroll now. And there would be 20% off for first 20 students over here. All right. Now we need to talk about the concept of diffusion and osmosis. Who knows about diffusion? I want to know. You need to write. You write that. Who knows about diffusion? Be active. I told you to be active. You need to type your answers in the chat box. Diffusion, high to low concentration, but what? Emmanuel, write it. Okay. So if I would quickly cover it, diffusion is the process through which your substances move from their high concentration region to low concentration region. All right. If there's something like, if at one place a lot of things are there, they would move towards the area where it is less in number. And diffusion is something that is defined for both gases and liquid. Be very clear with it. You need to know. And what is osmosis? Very good, Amrita. Good, Abdul Mukeet. Good, Abdul Hafiz. Okay. I need answers. Osmosis is when your like water particles move, your solvent would be moving across the plasma membrane, that is cell membrane, from a region of low solute concentration to a region of high solute concentration. Let me tell you, it is not something different from diffusion. All right. Low solute concentration would mean that your solvent, your water would be high in concentration. Water is in high concentration and it is moving from its high concentration to low concentration. Many times students tend to get confused between it. So your water is high in one area, that's why your solute is less. So water would move from high concentration region to the other one. Okay. What is active transport? It's not written here. What is active transport? Could you please tell me what do you know about active transport? Yes, Abdul Majid. What is active transport? Is there anyone who knows about it? Yes, read. Write that. I'm waiting. All of you. Muhammad, Tivia, Harris, Ruhi, Emmanuel, Catherine. But how is it different from osmosis then if it is moving from high concentration to low concentration? Active transport would mean it's the opposite of it when the particles tend to move from low concentration region to their high concentration region. Keep that thing in your mind very clear. And we're talking about low concentration of solvent, or we are talking about low concentration of water towards high concentration of water. I hope it's clear to you. Very good. Exactly. Good, Amrita. Okay. Now, this is the definition that I believe all of you would be able to answer. And B part, can you please tell me the answer for this? The question says that your plant root is adapted by absorbing water, but what image, what can you think about from the image that is mentioned, and what would you say about it, that how your plant root has been adapted to absorb water? The question is a 3 mark. 3 mark means three important, words to be written, three important points to be written in the paper. Quickly tell me. I need your answers in the chat box. Are you typing? Who all are typing? I want to know. Okay. Long hair so that it can absorb water easily. Very good, Catherine. Okay, large surface area. Two students, Catherine and Harris, actually, gave all the 3 points. First is that they are long hairs. Second is because of long hairs, there would be high surface area or large surface area, and they can absorb water by diffusion. All right. Yes, no worries, Iman. We are here to answer. Emmanuel is answering. Very good. So you just need to write 3 important points. Long hair, greater surface area, greater surface area. And the last point that you need to write is diffusion, high diffusion rate. All right. Diffusion rate is high. And that's how you're going to get your 3 marks in the paper. That was so easy, right? Exactly. Very good. Okay. Now we need to see whether you can write 6 marker questions or not. This would be the end of your biology one. Rest of the questions would be your homework. So read the question carefully. You need to be very good in English while writing the answers, but you do not have to, write too much. 6 mark means 6 important pointers in a good English. Why diffusion is important for your plants and animals, and look at the hints that GCSE gives you. You need to talk about where they are used in plants and animals. You need to give examples. You need to first define diffusion. Start with the definition of diffusion. That's how you need to write your answers. You might be learning that in English, right? How to write answers. Quickly do it. Is it too tiring to write? Is it too tiring to write? What do you think? Uh-uh. Extremely tiring. Catherine, are you typing? Amrita, I need answer from your side. Ruhi, Emmanuel, Harris, Zaid, Tavia, Mohammed, all of you. We need to answer it. Okay. So to start with, I'll just give you a basic idea of what you need to write in such kind of questions. All right. You would be writing the answers in your own words. And if you would get time, you can send it to me. I'll check it. First, you need to start with definition of diffusion. Definition of diffusion. And the second point that you need to write is why do you think so it is important? It is important because of a transport of materials across the membrane. If diffusion would not have been possible, your things cannot be transferred into the cell. So you need to write the importance is transfer of material across the cell, across the membrane. And where do you think so diffusion happens? If I talk about like animals, diffusion takes place while you're respiration. All right. It can happen when you are, give me some examples of where diffusion is used. Very good, Emmanuel. Very good, Ruhi. I'm impressed that all of you are writing your answers, but I need some examples where diffusion is used in animals and in plants. Even in respiration takes place in plants as well. But to be specific, inside your plants you would have photosynthesis. There is transpiration that you can write. What about in animals? Stomatal cells, exactly, very good. Gas exchange. That would happen in plants, not in, animals, Iman. Exercise while you're exercising. Yeah, what, like you're sweating, right? Mitochondria would not be considered. Like You can consider it like because respiration takes place in mitochondria, but gas exchange that might happen inside our body when we are breathing. All right. Your food is being absorbed while it is getting digested. All right. So absorption of nutrients or nutrients by blood. So these are some basic examples. If you're going to write this in your answer, you would simply get full 6 marks. If not six, 5 marks would be for sure. Diffusion is the movement of substances. Very good. Very good. Very good. But try to add more examples of animals and plants in your answer. Like if I would talk about Amrita, you have written a very nice answer, but you need to add some more examples. All right. Now, this is a basic formula that would be helpful, which includes image size over actual size. And now you have certain homework questions that you're going to do. So take screenshots and send it to me. So, like you would have your next master class on next Saturday. That would be for English 11 plus, and you would have a session on GCSE chemistry as well. So please be there on time so that you would get to have a lot of new things. You will learn a lot of tricks and ways to like write answers. Right? Okay. Please take screenshots for your homework questions because we would have to move towards chemistry now. Okay. Now we need to talk about chemistry, which includes atomic structure. So if I talk about, like atomic structure, first of all, I need definitions of all these things. What are elements? Let's see who knows it perfectly. Who knows it? Please write your answers. I'm waiting. Oh, a lot of people are still writing the previous one. Abdul, write the new one now. Elements having one type of atoms only. Same kind of elements. Elements are same kind of elements. All right. A substance made of one type of atom. Very good. All right. This is your basic definition that you tend to know that something which is made up of one type of atom. But when you're defining it now, you'll have to give some new definitions. So element would be, a form element would be an atom which cannot be broken down into anything simpler by any kind of chemical reactions. All right. Matter that cannot be broken down, cannot be broken down, cannot be broken down into anything simpler, anything simpler by any kind of chemical reactions. This is your advanced definition that you're going to write in your paper because it can be asked. You do not have to write something which is made up of just one type of atoms. You need to write this, that it cannot be broken. If I have iron, that is Fe, but you can do any kind of reactions, but you cannot break Fe into anything simple. You would simply get its atom, components, that is protons, neutrons, and uh, electrons in it. We're not supposed to go that one. I'm talking about breaking this into something simple, which is not really possible. What about compounds? Okay, so many definitions. Chemically joined together, Catherine, add a point in a fixed proportion. You know what? It's very important. That's where most of the students leave. A compound is a substance bonded together in a fixed proportion. All of you are doing good. But while defining compound, this is the part that you're missing. In the end, write in a fixed proportion. In a fixed proportion. In a fixed proportion. Like if I talk about H2O, H2O would always be 2 to 1 for hydrogen and oxygen. It would never change. That's what fixed proportion is. Right? Mixtures would be more than two when you would have different elements and compounds mixed together, but they're not bonded. Isotopes. I need definition for isotopes quickly. Everyone, I need definition for isotopes. Looks like you all are tired. Hello, I need answers. Same number of, very good, Tivia. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Tivia gave the correct answer. And Emmanuel, okay. Efiza, and yes, you read. Isotopes are the one that would have different number of neutrons but same number of protons, or I can say same atomic number, but different mass number. Or the one that was given earlier, like there was a definition which says same number of protons but different number of neutrons. Very good. Okay, that's nice. I'm getting so many answers. Okay. Now let's talk about certain mind maps. We need to talk about who discovered atoms. History of atom. So there was your John Dalton that came first. He gave certain points and said that your atom is indivisible. By that time, neutrons, protons, and electrons were not known. So it says that atom is indivisible. Atoms of same element are identical. If I talk about oxygen and oxygen, both the oxygens would look same, all right? The different atoms of new substances, like I talk about hydrogen and oxygen, both the atoms would be different, all right? Now we need to talk about the second theory that comes forward with Thomson's plum pudding model. He discovered electrons first, and after discovery of electrons, like you know what, the experiment that discovered electrons was called as cathode ray tube experiment. Make sure you know the word. In your paper it would be very much important. Yes, plum pudding model was given by it, but he discovered electron by an experiment called as cathode ray tube experiment. And in his model was called as plum pudding model. You must have seen a plum, right? It has certain other parts. The red color part in it is called as sphere of positive charge, and the other part is called as negatively charged. All right, and he says that the total positive charge is equal to total negative charge. Rutherford model. His experiment was gold foil experiment, and also called as nuclear model. These are the points that you need to remember. The kind of radiations used were alpha radiations. Foil used was a gold foil, and radiations, these are the observations. Radiations should have passed through, but they scattered. Some were deflected back directly. And from here, he said that nucleus is at the center and electrons are revolving around it in fixed orbits. Let me be very clear. Rutherford said that electrons are revolving in fixed orbits. Orbits, I repeat, orbits or shells. All right. But what Bohr model said was, because he failed, first of all, like Bohr's discovered proton, and he said that electrons are revolving in fixed orbitals. Mark my words, no one would forget this. This one was your past year paper question where they ask you to choose the correct option. Which one was correct as per Bohr's model? It says shells. It said in one of the one orbits, and in the other question that was orbitals. So you needed to choose orbitals for Bohr's model, right? Very good, Abdul Hafiz. Okay. Shells having different energies, all the shells would have different energies. And then you need to know how to read your periodic table. Look at your beautiful periodic table on it. How many like periods do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 periods, and total of 8 groups are there in your periodic table. Isn't it beautiful? It's not 108, it's 118 elements, Harris. 118 elements. Okay, quickly answer these questions. I'm waiting. Let's see who would give it. I'm waiting for everyone to answer. Very good. Answer it. The particle with a negative charge is called as electrons, and the particles in the nucleus with no charge is called as no charge, neutrons. Stevia, okay. Neutrons, very good. And an atom has no overall charge because it has same number of electrons and what? What? Protons. No, like you just wrote W in front of electrons, so I got confused, Sivya. Protons. Very good, Ruhi. That's amazing. Exactly. So, use the information in the table below to calculate relative atomic mass of the element A. Here comes your maths question, and that is very important. I would see who knows how to answer this. If you would be able to answer this, then I'm definitely gonna make a card again. Like I know you all are in GCSEs, but I can make a card that you gave, you did something amazing, a greeting from your teacher, but let's see whether you can do it or not. This one would be a challenge for all of you. But Abdul Makid, you're pretty smart, you can answer it. Come on. I would be making a card for you for sure then. We never met much, right? Who knows it? Okay. Should I tell you or do you want some time? Just tell me. Raise your hands if you need time. Although, the formula would be given to you in the formula sheet. But let's see whether you know it without the formula or not. Okay. I'll just explain the question to you. Whenever such kind of questions are there where you need to calculate relative atomic mass, which is very important for your exam point of view, one such question for 3 mark, 4 mark would definitely be there. All right, Iman, let's see whether you got this. All of you might be having calculators. So you just need to do one thing. You need to multiply the mass number with its percentage abundance. So 6 times 92.5, then plus take the other isotope with its mass number multiplied by its percentage abundance. That is 7 times 7.5, and you need to divide your answer with 100. While you would be solving it, you'll get your answer as, is it 66? You tell me, like, what did you get? 6.065 would be too less. 606.5 would be too much. Stevia, it could be 66, right? 6.02075 would be too less. It would be around 60.75, all right? You would get your answer around 60.75. You can check it, and that would be the relative atomic mass of this particular isotope, all right? Let us move forward. Remember, one such question would surely be there in the paper. If you're going to do this, 4 mark in chemistry paper one for free. You just need to remember the formula. 1 mark for formula, 1 mark for putting the values in the question, and then another 1 or 2 mark for solving it properly and correctly. All right. Okay, I'll correct then. It would be 60.25 over here. Okay. Now there are certain questions from your periodic table. So what are group 7 elements known as? Let's see who knows it. Halogens. Very good. And why do group 7 elements react in a similar way? Why do group 7 elements react in a similar way? They have similar chemical properties, but why do you, like, that's the question. Why do they have similar chemical properties, Emmanuel? Find it out. Because they have similar electronic structure. All right. They have same number of outermost electrons. Outermost electrons. Your chemical properties are defined by the chemical, like by the number of electrons that are participating or the electronic structure that they have, not shells. Shells are not similar. You need to say same number of electronic structure or same number of outermost electrons are there. 7. All right. And what is the molecular formula of chlorine oxide in the given diagram? Quickly answer it. Exactly, Abdul Hafiz. You're in year 6 and you're doing good. But give me the formula. Your like the dark colored ones are oxygen atoms and your light color ones are Cl. So it would be Cl2O. How many? Seven. So that would be your chlorine oxide that you need to look at. Very good. Not in powers. It would be in subscripts. All right. Not in powers. Okay. So you have some questions as a homework. You can take screenshots because we need to move towards the next topic as well. And if you really want to go come across everything, meet me in the classes. We are going to have a lot of fun. All right. When you talk about energy, the different stores of energy, can you please list all the stores of energy? The different stores of energy, what are they? Nuclear energy, GPE or gravitational potential energy, nuclear energy, thermal energy, and light energy, sound energy. I'm impressed. All of you are answering it pretty well. Do you know what? I'll be sharing a mock test with you in the end that for physics that is based on combined science. You all can try that out. Make sure you're getting that. I'll be sharing it in the chat box. So don't leave before getting that. All right. Don't leave. Electrostatic. Very good. So all of them are forms of energy. And I would want to know what is law of conservation of energy. What is law of conservation of energy? Every is not made of or destroyed. What every? Oh, you wanted to write energy. Yes, exactly. Energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. So now it's time for you to answer the six marker big question. Let's see who can do it. Six marker big question. I want you to do it. A school made measurements to determine the specific heat capacity, and a figure below shows the equipment. You need to describe how the student can use it to calculate the specific heat capacity. What do you think you need to do? You just need to explain the whole steps. Very good. Yeah, but we have moved on towards the next question. You need to give the whole steps to calculate, specific heat capacity. Who all knows it? Ruhi, Harris, Emmanuel, Mohammed, Tivia, Zed, just in case. Okay. And Ivan, try writing your answers. I'm waiting. Okay. I'll be again giving you certain pointers to write such questions down. When you talk about how is, first of all, your specific heat capacity is basically a way to measure, how much heat is needed for you to raise the temperature of, 1 unit mass of your substance by 1 degrees, the amount of energy needed. So you have your electric heater, all right? You have your joule meter that would calculate the energy, and you have the beaker. So you need to take the beaker, you need to take the beaker and place it on electric heater. Substances would be heated up, and you need to connect your electric heater with the joule meter to calculate the energy that is being transferred. And there would be a top pan balance to measure the amount of reactant that you're taking. Your reactant would be placed inside the beaker. Reaction would take place. Make sure you put thermometer as well. So from your joule meter, that would be measuring the heat change, and your thermometer would measure the temperature change. So you would use the formula Q equals mc delta T to calculate specific heat capacity from here. C is your specific heat capacity. That's how you're going to write. Very good. Very good, Abdul Makid. I'm impressed. So that's the way. And writing this equation would give you another 1 mark for sure. All right. Okay. Who can write this answer? B part first. Give one risk when you're using the equipment in figure one. Any risk? Splash in eyes. Okay, very good. Very good. Splash in eyes is one of your answer that you can simply write. I'm impressed. Could burn yourself. Very good. Abdul Makid has already given the answer for the C part. You need to give an equation that is linked with energy, power, and time. I'll just tell you one thing. You're going to get formula sheet. All right. This 1 mark where they would be asking you to write the equation. you can simply refer to your formula sheet in case if you do not remember it. All right. They're just checking whether you know how to read it or whether you can understand what equation are we talking about. That's what they're checking over here. Power equals energy over time. Very good. And the last question, can you calculate it? The last question on the slide, can you calculate it? Okay. What formula? Where would you put? What values are you going to put? Harris is done with it. Let me just check. Like if I would talk about how to calculate it, you're just going to take the time, calculate the time taken. So power equals energy over time. So time would be equal to energy over power. And energy is 4,750, and you need to divide that with 50. So while solving it, it would be 5. 95 seconds would be your answer. That was impressive, Harris. TVR, very good. Exactly. So that's how you're going to solve your questions. The rest of the questions, quickly take this one as a homework. Very important and very popular. Abdul, it would be 95. 97? Nope. Take screenshot for this question. Very important exam point of view. Has been asked many times. 4 marker questions. I want you all to solve them. If you want answers, come in the classes, meet with me, and we'll solve it together. Or you, if you want me to check your answers already, you can send it to the team, and I'll definitely send the checked ones. And with this, we are done. And if I talk about like there are different opportunities that we tend to provide, there would be primary school where we cover SATs 11 plus. In secondary school, we cover GCSEs, and in senior high school, we tend to cover A levels. In case if you are interested or any of your friend might be interested, you can definitely call us up. Any doubts? Do you have anything to ask? I'll be waiting for you here. Do you have any questions to ask? I hope you all enjoyed it. Did you like it or not? Anything, any feedback that you want me to like take? Harris, I'm Lever. Yes, Abdul, you can ask me, ask the question, write it in the chat box. And students, I am sending a link in the chat box, everyone. This is your physics mock test that you can try for paper one. And let's see how you would do it. Harris, you can contact the teams. That is, the numbers are there. Just call them. All right, just call them. All right, Amrita. Active transport would be the one where your particles tend to move from their low concentration to high concentration, just like in RO, like you have water filters, right? RO, reverse osmosis, they talk about where water tends to move from where it is already less in amount, but it would move towards where it is already high in amount. That's what active transport is. Active, you need to provide energy for that. Okay. All right, everyone. So that's it for today. Till then, take care. Bye bye. And make sure you download the paper. All right. Yes. Okay. Bye bye, everyone.